Good morning, everyone. Welcome into this day with Quimper Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Eleanor Curtis, and I'm a member of YRUU here at QUUF. As we gather, I acknowledge that the water, land, and shorelines here in Port Townsend are the traditional territory of the Sklallam and Chimacum peoples. We honor and acknowledge our Indigenous members and neighbors, and vow to help restore and sustain these homelands. If you're visiting today, I offer a special welcome and invite you to join us for refreshments and conversation in the fellowship hall after the service. We have a newcomers table near the patio doors where our greeters are ready to answer any questions you might have. Welcome to you all this morning. We're glad that you're here. You will notice that there are papers on your seats. Those will come in handy later, so don't lose them. And now we have a couple of announcements. First, the YRUU Youth Group is holding our annual polar plunge out at Fort Worden this afternoon, after the service at 12:30. This is a fundraiser for our youth programming here, and we hope that you will join us. We will be tabling after the service today as well. Second, from the Dining for Dollars team, we will see those of you who bid on the Sound of Music sing-along and Fresh Apple Strudel reception this afternoon at 2:30. If you'd like to join us, but did not bid on the strudel reception, you're welcome to come for the 3 o'clock movie. Tickets will be available at the door for $15. And now a word about the women's retreat.
Hi, Susan. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm really excited to go to the women's retreat coming up in March. I had so much fun last year, I don't want to miss it. The theme this year is being fully alive in challenging times.
Really? That sounds great. What's it like? And where's it held?
Well, it's in a retreat center outside of Port Orchard, and the main lodge is a log cabin, and it's going to be from Friday afternoon to Sunday, March 21, 22, and 23. The food is delicious, and it's so wonderful to not have to cook for the weekend. They'll even accommodate special diets, so when you register, let us know what you prefer. There'll be crafts and other workshops, and the workshops will be led by our members. The whole group has an opportunity to go to a drum circle, a song circle, and a ukulele concert and discussion groups. But if you'd rather, there's trails in the area, and you could read or take a nap if you'd prefer. They're comfortable Posturepedic beds.
Ooh, nice.
That's a big deal. It's a tradition to play a fun game that's easy and also hilariously funny, so you can look forward to that. That's on Saturday night if you choose to go, but you won't be able to resist.
Wow, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. Tell me, how do I sign up?
Well, there'll be 2 women wearing colorful hats out in the fellowship room right after this service, and they will help you to sign up online today. We've moved to an online-only registration, so we'll help you through that if you need. And scholarships may be available. So you don't want to miss this. Please join us.
That sounds great. I can hardly wait.
You're right now. Not yet, Shelley. I'll stand by. Whoopsies. And now, here is Robin Stamen, the chair of the stewardship team, with some news.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to bring some love to this morning. It has been my honor to put together the beautiful bulletin board that's by the office and it's festooned with beautiful handmade heartfelt hearts, and it also has a list of the 139 responses from the mission vision statement we had on February 8th. These responses finish the statement, "I love this congregation because." They're beautiful statements, and I hope you check them out. They'll also be listed in an upcoming weekly update. Our stewardship theme this year is Living Love Out Loud. I'll give you an example of living love out loud that happened right here at the State of the Fellowship. Bo Olgren, our Director of Family Ministry, spoke these powerful words, and I was truly moved. He said, "I want us as a congregation to focus our work on solidarity with one another and how we look out for and serve one another. I want us to be audaciously generous, to open our doors to each other, to not let our fears and anxieties make us shrink back, but to let our forceful love and yearning for justice cause us to reach out, ever more work, to understand one another and have others' backs. We need one another always." As you can tell, I'm still moved by those words and the direct call to action that he gave us. That's living out love out loud to me. And here's some more love. The stewardship team would love it if you would join us next Saturday for coffee and conversation at 9 and 11. But why would you go? You would go to get information, to help us by giving us some input, have a good time sharing with others, and of course, coffee. This is not a conversation about your personal pledge. This is about stewardship in general. You can sign up with the invitation you got this morning, or at the website, or with a link in the weekly update. We hope to see you there. Thank you.
And thank you both.
All right, I get to follow this up with a pledge testimonial. Good morning. My name is Shelley Reese Randall, and I pledge because my teenage son said, "That would be awesome." Now, to be fair, we weren't talking about pledging, but we were talking about QUUF. A few weeks ago, Bo kindly extended the invitation to my son to play a piano solo for the Prelude to begin Sunday service. Now, you may not have seen us here for a while. We're not really in the habit these days of attending Sunday services, but I want you to know that I have been pledging all the while, and we have been involved in the youth programs. So, as I saw the text come in, and I waited for Soren to come down to breakfast, he's the one who brought it up. I didn't want to seem too pushy, right? It needed to be his decision. Did you see Bo's text about playing the piano at service? Oh yeah, he said, that would be awesome. What every parent of a teenager wants to hear when your son is discussing engaging with a religious institution. Praise the Lord. So, this was the reminder of why I love this congregation and this community, and why for 12 years, since we started coming when Soren was a preschooler, I have made it a habit to make a monthly pledge. And I have adjusted that over the years, depending on our family's financial situation, but it has been a commitment that I've made to this community. And I am standing here this morning. I was asked to just share the reasons why I do this and why I think it's so important. Having been in fundraising before for nonprofits in this community, I know how important it is that the team knows what they can count on. And if you need to adjust it during the year, that's another conversation to have, but you at least can make your first commitment. So it's really lovely that I am standing here before you on the day of the youth service, because it has been all the range of youth programs that have been the reason that we are still engaged with QUF, and even though that has changed over the years. And in some, Soren was a 4-year-old when we first joined, and the harvest party and the veggie car races were the draw. Over the years, he worked his way through the RE classes, where I also volunteered for many years, just learning about different world religions and how to be kind to each other and about the 7 UU principles. That is really a beautiful thing for those of you who have littles here. He did the middle school coming of age program with a mentor, and then 3 rounds of OWL. That's the sexuality program. Yes, we love OWL. Okay, unsolicited cheer for OWL. Honestly, what more could I ask for that I feel so comfortable with this religious community, this spiritual community, that I trust its leaders to teach my son sex ed, right? That human sexuality program, and starting when they're little, first grade, second grade, kindergarten, I can't remember now, it's all a blur, but really. And then my son did not get into the youth group, but I wish he had, but again, that has to be his decision. He is out doing a hike with some friends this morning, so I really can't complain. But I just want to say that I know it's been so grounding for so many youth, and so please support them as they shine today, and donate to their polar plunge out at Fort Worden this afternoon. Now, in 2 short years, my son Soren will be preparing his bridging speech. I will be sitting in the back row of that congregation because I will be bawling my eyes out. But I do that every bridging service anyway. My heart just bursts open to witness the quality of the graduating seniors that QUF is fledging into the world. This world is truly a better place with more UU youth in it. And so if you do not have youth in this congregation, just know that I stand here as a parent. Robin, goodness. All right. Just to say that it really, really matters. And we are so fortunate to have Katy, followed by Bout, as part of our family's lives. So now more than ever, we need to support this. And in the same way that I consider that all of my federal income tax goes to support national parks, all of my QUF pledge goes to support the youth programs in my mind. And I want to wrap up by saying that there is one more awesome piece of news to share. And that is that I am part of a generation that can rarely pledge or donate a significant amount of disposable income because of the place we're in our lives. We have the pressures of saving for our kids' college educations and saving for our eventual retirement, so that we are not a burden on our own children. And so it can be really challenging to pledge a multi-$1,000 gift, as so many of you are able to do, and that's wonderful, but not really available to us at this point in time. But there is one tool that we can use. When my divorce was finalized at the end of 2023, I had to update my will. And I was channeling Roger Anderson, retired estate attorney, member of the endowments committee with me for many years. And I remembered Roger, and I said to the attorney I was sitting with, oh, I need to name QUF as a beneficiary in my will. And I did. So that is something that any of us can do, along with a couple of other nonprofits in this community that have really enriched my life and are doing amazing work. QUF is named as a beneficiary in my will. So, should I get hit by the bus tomorrow? I know my son will be taken care of by the other assets in my life, but I also know that there will be a surprise gift in my memory that goes to QUF. So, I hope all of you will join me in considering getting your estate documents in order. It's really important. And at a minimum, making a consistent commitment to QUF through your monthly pledge, which will start this July, so you still have time to plan for it. That would be awesome.
Let us settle our minds and calm our hearts.
Sorry. Please join us in our reading. To be a Unitarian Universalist means we'll never be done with the work of telling the truth about oppression, the work of resisting any laws, policies, or practices that deny anyone their humanity, the work of stubbornly seeking out the spark of divine each other, no matter what the work of creating heaven on earth. Now please join me in our chalice lighting words. To be Unitarian Universalist means we're not alone in the work. We are not alone because of our promises to love one another. We are not alone because we are companions on the journey. We grow ourselves into allies, helping one another get free, because none of us is truly free until we are all free. Now please rise in body or in spirit and join us in our opening hymn, Put Your Roots Down.
We're going to learn this a little bit at a time, line by line. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Try that. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Can you hear what she says when you listen? Let's try it all together. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Again. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? All right, next part. We're going to layer these eventually. Next part is, 'cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones. So try that. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones. So one point, notice 'cause the little bit of rest there before you go to sound. So it goes, 'cause the sound, all right? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones. One more time. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones. Second part is very similar but a little different, so listen. Is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Great, again. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. We're going to try the whole thing. Put your roots down twice, and then 'cause the sound of the river through. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. I think we're ready. So we're going to do the first part twice, and then Kristen's going to keep the first part going, and we're going to add the second part on the top. So really follow me, you guys, because there's a certain way this fits together. The other thing that's going to be really important is those little rests, 'cause the rest. And the second part is the rest. Okay, that's going to be really important to keep the rhythm. All right, let's get back to here. Put your roots. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones again. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? 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 Awesome.
Now, now is our time for all ages. I invite anybody who would like to join us up at the front for our story today. What can a citizen do? What in the world can a citizen do? Who can a citizen be? A citizen is just like you. A citizen can plant a tree. A citizen can help a neighbor. A citizen can join a cause. A citizen can write a letter. A citizen can help change laws. A citizen can right a wrong. A citizen can turn things around. A citizen can get things right side up that have been turned upside down. A citizen should be engaged. A citizen should care and care. A citizen should build things, save things. A citizen can be a bear. Yes, a citizen can be a bear. A citizen can be a kid. A citizen can wear pink pants. A citizen cannot stay hid. A citizen's not what you are. A citizen is what you do.
Citizen cannot forget the world is more than you. We're part of a society one full of joy and pain. And if we help just one, help one lonely soul, we open doors, we bring in light, we bind us all and make us whole. So forget yourself a second, grab a shovel or a pen, don't you dare doubt that you can. Everything makes an impact on a bigger big than you. And it all starts with the question, what can a citizen do? This service is an intergenerational one for those first grade and above, which means that we are just singing the littlest to their class and childcare, and the other children will stay in here and listen to me and the other youth. There is childcare available, and if anybody wants to leave at the sanctuary at any time, we will take no offense. Please form an arch on the center aisle and let us sing out our youngest children out to their classes and the rest to their seats.
We pause for a time of generosity and to receive an offering which today goes to the Jefferson Country Immigrant Rights Association. I invite John Collins to come tell us more about it.
Okay. Thank you all. My name is John Collins, but I'm not supposed to be the speaker this morning. Katy Franco was going to give a presentation. She, along with Jean Wallet, are two co-founders of GESERA. And unfortunately, Katy was involved in an auto accident late yesterday. Her car was totaled. She is okay. She's checked out at the hospital, but she's bruised, but didn't want to come to service this morning, understandably. You're hearing all this youthful spirit here is delightful. But it reminds me that one of the great ills facing our country right now is all of the immigrants, and especially the children of immigrants, who face a very fearful future, many of them, and many of them in our own community. Children who try to keep a very low profile because of their vulnerability. And so that's what actually prompted GESERA to be formed originally 8 years ago in Trump 1.0, and we need it more now than ever. The mission of GESERA is to support the immigrants and their families, giving priority to those who live or work in the Olympic Peninsula and immigrant detainees within Washington State through access to legal services, standing witness, family support, community education, and advocacy. So QUUF has had a long history of involvement and support for GESERA. After the service, you could talk to Julia Cochran or Jean Wallet, who are both here, and they're both involved in the board currently in GESERA. I was on the board myself in treasurer, but not currently associated. During this brief period of the new administration, the request that GESERA has been receiving for financial assistance to immigrants has skyrocketed, as you might imagine. The needs in the community, the immigrant community, are increasing, and so GESERA is trying to respond not only with the cash assistance that we've done in the past, but also with developing an online mental health facility in Spanish, actually coming from Mexico, but available here in town online. We have access to attorneys who can help, and we're trying to increase that capacity also. We are gearing up something that was started 8 years ago and then passed out, and that is a rapid response team for people to go to an incident and be able to be witness of what is going on. Not intervene, but just be witness, and be a witness in case there's a court action that would follow that they could apply to. GESERA has also been involved with the local school district in developing a safe school program for the children of immigrants to be safe while they're in schools. And as you know, the administration just recently terminated the prior sanctuary status of religious organizations, and so there's a group in QUUF right now trying to work with other faith communities in the community to provide some sort of religious sanctuary space, safe space in our community. Okay. Well, I hope that you will be helpful with a financial contribution. It would be much appreciated. And afterwards, if you want to get more information, Julia or Jean or I would be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
The ushers will come among you to receive the offering. Please join me in our offering words. This fellowship is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it.
We rise, humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In a hope, in prayer, we're right here. In a hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here, and we rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here, and we rise up from the wreckage. Rise with tears and with courage. Rise fighting for life. We rise in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here, and we rise, humbly hearted, rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise.
This time is set aside to share joys and sorrows. We recognize that our personal joys and sorrows are only a fragment of the joys and sorrows of the larger community of life. And thus, we place this first stone, thinking in particular of all of the government employees losing their jobs under this current administration. And now, within the congregation, we light a candle of joy for the wonderful community concert yesterday. Over 140 people shared fellowship and splendid music. Kareem Bonsali requests that we light a candle of well wishes for his left knee replacement surgery happening tomorrow, Monday, February 24th. He also expresses his gratitude to all who have signed up for the meal train and his hour of need. Bestest wishes to you. We light a candle for Hawthorne Willing, who is in the ICU in Seattle Children's today with a bout of RSV. We send love to the whole Willing family and best healing to Sweet Hawk. We place a final stone, holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows that I've just shared, but also thinking of such joys and sorrows among us that are unexpressed but of no less importance. I invite you now into a moment of silence, followed by a reading. We are dreaming of tomorrow, and tomorrow isn't coming. We are dreaming of a glory that we don't really want. We are dreaming of a new day when the new day's here already. We are running from the battle when it's one we must fight, and still we sleep. We are listening for the calling, but never really heeding, hoping for the future when the future only plans. Dreaming of the wisdom that we are dodging daily, praying for a Savior when salvation's in our hands, and still we sleep. And still we sleep, and still we pray, and still we fear, and still we sleep, and still we sleep. Choose your leaders with wisdom and forethought. To be led by a coward is to be controlled by all that coward fears. To be led by a fool is to be led by the opportunists who control the fool. To be led by a thief is to offer up your most precious treasures to be stolen. To be led by a liar is to ask to be told lies. To be led by a tyrant is to sell yourself and those you love into slavery. We now invite you to take out your papers and write down the answer to the question, what is a problem in this world that is important to fix? Keep your papers with you after you've written your answer. Now please rise in body and spirit for our next hymn, Where You Go.
Kristen on the Shruti box. All right, we'll do this. We'll do this line by line so you learn it. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Yes, please write in body or spirit. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Try that. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go again. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Next part. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Next, your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. From the beginning. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. More divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go.
Hello, I'm Willow, and today I'm going to be talking about historical resistance efforts and what we can learn from them. I'm sure we're all aware that there is a lot wrong with the world, and more specifically, our country. Lately, it's felt like we're losing much of the progress we worked so hard to gain. It's easy to feel helpless, like there's nothing we can do. This is when I believe it can be inspiring to look to historical events that remind us that if we come together to fight injustice, we have more power than we think. We must not be afraid, though people in authority will try to make us so. The labor movement is one such time when a mass of people come together to create change. Think of the Pullman strike of 1894, when members of the American Railroad Union supported the striking workers at the Pullman Palace Car Company by refusing to handle any Pullman cars. This managed to essentially halt all rail traffic west of Chicago. Or the Battle of Blair Mountain in West Virginia, 1921. 10,000 armed Union miners marched with the goal of freeing arrested miners in Mingo County. However, they didn't make it that far, being confronted with opposing forces in Logan County, organized by their sheriff, Don Chafin. Violence emerged between the two groups at Blair Mountain, ending when federal troops were called in. Though it was not an immediate victory for the miners, it is remembered as one of the largest civil uprisings in U.S. history, and an important event for the larger movement. These occurrences show that when enough people can set aside their differences and join forces, change is eventually brought out. It might not be fast or easy, and that is why it is important to not get discouraged. Think about the fight for LGBTQ rights. Remember Stonewall, how it took what some would call a riot to kick off real activism. The people who were there called it a rebellion. One might look at some of these events and criticize them for being violent. I would say that the violence is not often caused by the resistors, but rather by those the government sends to stop them. The truth is, we live in a world where people use violence to achieve what they want, and as protesters, we need to be prepared for that. That being said, there are many nonviolent ways to protest that should not be forgotten about. Consider monkey wrenching, defined by Britannica as nonviolent disobedience and sabotage carried out by environmental activists against those whom they perceive to be ecological exploiters. One of the most famous examples of this is Julia Butterfly Hill, who lived in a 1,000-year-old California redwood for 738 days to stop clear-cutting by the Pacific Lumber Company. We need to remember our past, how we've gotten here, take inspiration from those who came before us. We cannot be complacent to the blatant injustices occurring around us. Remember that even small things can help. Make art, share zines, do whatever you can to grow the movement. Just do something.
Hey, I'm Raul. I'm here to say the world sucks. We can look back at the past, as Willow said, but we can also look at the fights that are happening right now for a better world. I look at the multi-ethnic coalition of northeastern Syria's fight against Turkey and the Islamic State. There, for over a decade, they've been fighting against a fascist government and for their form of governance called democratic confederalism. This form of government is an exciting new experiment with local democracy and has put the empowerment of women and religious minorities at the center. At the same time, rebels in Myanmar are taking land back from the junta. Despite years of struggle, they are winning the fight for democracy. When we look at this, we can see people making visible advances in the fight against authoritarianism and fascism. While the US is taking steps backwards, we can look at other nations' struggles to see how to preserve and win under difficult conditions. I encourage you to learn about what's happening in Syria and Myanmar. We have to learn what we can do to fight fascism and authoritarianism. Regardless of what action you take, you will need friends. And in this area of constant surveillance, we need to keep our friends as safe as we can. I want to share a few tools about this because that not everyone knows about. Let's start with digital surveillance. You can use the app Signal for private messaging. You could download and learn to use Tor browser and Tails operating system. It's important to have these tools in this age of constantly expanding surveillance. Email and text on the regular web is always watched, and it will be watched more and more over the coming 4 years and maybe longer than that. Well, on the note of surveillance, especially right now, don't talk to the police. It will never help you. I mean, don't lie to them. Lying to police or ICE, or to give a false name, is a crime. But be aware, they are allowed to lie to you as much as they want, so don't believe what they say. For more info, you can look at the National Lawyers Guild guide. Teaching your friends about not talking to cops is one form of mutual aid. We don't know what forms of mutual aid we will need as our country veers towards fascism, but critical systems like food, medicine, housing, manufacturing are already being disrupted. As our government becomes more repressive, we will need to develop new forms of mutual aid, learn how to be more self-sufficient in how we help each other, and learn new skills. There is a lot for us to learn from each other. Say you need access to medical abortion options. Groups like the Four Thieves Vinegar Collective have manufactured and given away the abortion drug misoprostol on paper cards. These cards are possible to manufacture at a small scale, just like 200 doses, with basically a blender and drug and a solution, and has been found to be effective. And the cards are able to be distributed at a small scale without detection. This type of action will be necessary across the board over the coming years. So I ask you, what special skills do you have? What can you offer to the community? What can you do to fix the issues that you see?
Hi, I'm Ruby, and I'll be talking about what actions we can make now to help strengthen and build a fortified community. I've heard countless people say that our generation will be the one to fix our world, but society cannot keep dumping the shortcomings of the past on the shoulders of children. If you want change to happen, lift us up and teach us, support us with your knowledge, come together as a community and make things happen, because we cannot do this alone. My mom has had Parkinson's disease for as long as I can remember. For those who don't know, Parkinson's disease is a condition that slowly deteriorates a part of your brain, which can cause tremors, difficulty walking, and speaking. She has a severe case of Parkinson's. She can only speak for a few hours every night, but when she does, she tells the best stories. 3 years ago, her condition got so bad that she was hospitalized. My dad happened to be on a business trip out of the country at the time and could not come home because the money he was making overseas was paying for all our hospital bills. Where did I go? There we go. Me being 12, I couldn't stay home alone. We started searching for people I could stay with for the 5 weeks my parents were gone. Within 15 minutes, 5 families had offered to take me in. It only took 15 minutes. 15 minutes for a group of people to come together and make a tightly woven community set out to help my family. This has shown me how quickly a community can act when they feel they are needed. But the truth is, we are always needed, each and every one of us. Even when you think your actions won't make a difference, they do. Helping one another and supporting each other is easy if you know where to look. And luckily, we have several amazing opportunities for anyone who wants to go out and volunteer and help in any way they can. Go to Habitat for Humanity and offer to build a home for a family in need. Go speak to people at OLLICAP and ask how you can help find food, shelter, education, employment, and healthcare for those who need an extra push of support. We need to persevere. We need to learn from the past and listen to the people who have taken action before us. After this service, while you drink your coffee and tea, talk about some of the tactics you've learned. Tell stories about when you stood up for something you believed in, even when it was difficult. We are strongest when we come together. When we come together, it is not impossible to do the improbable. Stand up for each other. be loud, be straightforward, be demanding, be present. And if you have an opinion, make it heard. Do I keep going? Okay, great. Now, as you look at the problem you wrote down earlier, think of an action you are currently taking or are committed to taking in the future to address this problem. Please raise your hand, and Emma and Willow will come among you with the handheld mics to hear your responses. Think of an action that you are currently taking or committed to taking in the future to address this problem. Yay. Go.
Hi, there's an organization called Heifer, and you can basically help a woman in a third world country buy a cow or a goat, which is enough for her to start a small business for herself. And so that I'm often donated to them.
Supporting women and girls' access to reproductive health through regular donations to Planned Parenthood.
Town halls are being carried out all over the country, both in Republican and Democratic districts. In our district here, Emily Randall is doing a phone town hall this next Tuesday evening. Look online and find the way to the link to get it on that phone call. She deserves to hear from all of us as to what we can do to help support her, but also to challenge everyone in the House of Representatives and what actions we can take.
Hi, I'm Paul Mayo, and I've been calling congressmen almost on a daily basis. I call a lot of Republican congressmen. I'm polite to the aides, but I tell them, don't do this. Stand up.
So fighting the attack on our democracy, we have decided that the best organization to support for us is the ACLU, and we give regularly to them.
Yeah, excuse me, I have something caught in my throat. But many of us, there's a group of us that have met on Friday at a vigil downtown for what the awful treatment of Israel towards the Palestinians. Brutal treatment for 76 years. And even through wind and rain, and we've still been out there. So if anybody wants to join, that's a great thing to do. Thank you. How can we blind ourselves to what's happening?
I'm also calling the senators as often as I can, and I went to the demonstration at the courthouse recently, and that was fabulous.
I engage in polite conversations to listen and understand people who are across the aisle from where I am.
I just want to put out a word about Don't Buy Anything Day on February 28th. So that is to let politicians and corporations know that we do have power, and that power is our money and where we put it. So don't spend any money at all if you can do it on February 28th. If you do spend money, just do it locally.
JSERA has several teams that are working on things that are very relevant right now. A rapid response team, but also a legislative update team. And we're looking for more people on that team. It's headed by Sheila Kalav. And we're really looking at how to have a website so everybody knows what's going on at the time. So if you are interested at all, come talk to me.
There's a committee of a couple people from our congregation seeking to involve the state of Washington and other states in becoming affiliated with the World Health Organization through the Department of Health.
To write letters, to make calls, and to keep your voice, to show up. 90% of life is showing up. I have called my representatives every day because I now have all the phone numbers, which makes me feel empowered. I write a lot of letters to the leader, but mainly to resist racism and hypocrisy that is rampant right now, to be open to all ideas, but to share your love and to listen and be present.
On a more local note, I just want to say, let your community know that you can be one of those families that can be called within the 15 minutes to be the one who will drop everything to support your community and your family.
Any last people?
Yeah, I guess I have one of my closest friends is like exact opposite from me with regards to political views and religion, and something I totally like don't agree with, but I still get along with him. And I think also like if you completely shy away from these people and don't understand, then it's even more polarizing. So I think it's still important to like understand a little bit and like not be, you know, even more polarizing and say like, hey, we are here, you are there, but still talk to each other. I think that's important, no matter what.
I just found recently there's a website called choosedemocracy.us, and they have a resist list. So you can see all the actions that are being taken to resist what's happening. It's wonderful, it's inspirational to see it, all the different suits and things that are being filed, all the actions being taken. Choosedemocracy.us, the resist list.
The thing that concerned me was the lack of unconditional love and care for each other. And related to the party lines, I find for me, I didn't have the skills to talk to people on the other side, so I've been trying to build those skills, and I just wanted to let people know there's the People's Action, which trains people to do deep canvassing, which is to have really values-based conversations with people across the line, and also crossing party lines is you're not trying to convince other people, but just to see each other's shared humanity, which I think is something we need more of.
Instead of feeling helpless about what's going on in our world, an easy way to get involved in our community with people that we know and love is Habitat for Humanity. It feels good to help contribute to friends and family, people in our own community that we know that need a home. They're a wonderful organization, really organized. They've got their act together. It's very simple to get involved. And it's an uplifting way to make a real difference.
Is that it? Okay. Thank you guys, everybody who shared.
Thank you.
Does this work? Oh, it does. Okay, we got this. You're broken down and tired. No. Can we start over? That was sad. Okay. 3. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I'll see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. Bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. Oh, all we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, oh, we will rise, oh, we'll rise. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, yeah, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, rise like the day. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. I mean, that was beautiful. Let's see. Our closing words come from Lily Tomlin. I said, somebody should do something about that. And then I realized, I am somebody. Please join us in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish our flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution? It sounds whisper. Poor people gonna rise up, get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Oh, I said you better run, 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 run. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn, talking about a revolution. Yes, finally the tables are starting to turn, talking about a revolution. Oh no, talking about a revolution. Oh, while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. And finally the tables are starting to turn, talking about a revolution. Yes, finally the tables are starting to turn, talking about a revolution.